Welcome! You have found the first video in the chemistry class of Mr. Lawrence for East Central High School. This video is labeled as Video 1-1. The first one stands for Unit 1. The second video stands for the first video in that unit. So after this video, you will look for Video 1-2, symbolizing Video 1 in the first unit, but 2 as the second video. As we get started, let me explain a few processes you need to follow as we do this flipped classroom and as you watch videos online. The first thing is, as you watch this video, you'll be taking notes. This first video is pretty simple, and so I do not have any notes for you to fill in along the way. So right now, grab a piece of paper, and as I go through the material, you can jot down a few questions, make a few notes that you can use on your online quiz following the video, but in the future lessons, I will have a guided notes for you to fill in the blank. The second thing to know is, after you watch this video, in the Google Classroom, you will find a survey quiz link. Make sure you take the Video 1-1 survey quiz after this video. That quiz is due by 11 p.m. tonight. So every time you watch a video, the quiz will be due following that video by 11 p.m. on the assigned day. You will get points for that video, and that video will also, you'll get points for that quiz, and that quiz will also give me an understanding as to what students need more help with in class when I see you next. The last thing is, the beauty of watching a video is that you can pause and rewind. So at any time throughout the video, feel free to pause, rewind, and re-listen to anything that was being taught. Likewise, when you're taking the online survey quiz, please utilize the video, rewatch it. Remember, our goal is for you to learn, to understand the material, so as you need to, watch the video as much as needed. When we get started with the videos, you will see learning targets. This is going to help you understand and set up the video. So now that we are ready, let's begin with the material for chemistry, Unit 1, Lesson 1. In this lesson, you'll be able to explain the concept of chemistry, and you will understand what we will study in this class. You will also be able to evaluate the purpose of chemistry and understand how it applies in our world. What does it do for us in everyday life? A few key terms that you're going to see is the term chemistry and the term chemical. When we get started, we say chemistry. This class is about chemistry, and so the question is, what is it? Chemistry is simply the study of the things around us and how they are made. Technically, we say it's the study of the structure, the composition, and those properties, and the processes of what happens. Chemistry was the first science, some call it, and chemistry is the backbone of many other sciences, and therefore many other sciences are based off of chemistry and are related to them. The backbone of chemistry is this guy right here, the periodic table of elements. I look at these things as building blocks. I refer to these often as Legos of the universe. On here you will see many different elements like helium, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen. Many of these terms you've heard before. All they are elements, and this is going to be a focus point of the class. And so as we get started in future lessons, we will go over the periodic table, but this is the core of chemistry. These are the different things that make up the structure and the composition of a chemical, or of an element, or of a solution, or of a pure substance. And these different elements are what give different properties to different pieces of matter. As we move on, we see that chemistry is studied and broken down into 6 different branches. These branches all have their unique and own focus. They all deal with different elements on the periodic table. They all have similarities, but these are where you may specialize in college, and you might see it in different parts of the world. Organic chemistry is a term used whenever we focus on the element of carbon. The element of carbon has an atomic number of 6, which we will learn in a few units to come. But carbon is the basis for all oil-based industry. So when you talk about gasoline or oil, that is typically your organic chemistry, even plastics and polymers. Inorganic chemistry is a study that focuses primarily on all the other elements other than carbon. Physical chemistry deals more with the changes that we see in matter. Sometimes it might have to do with just changing substances from liquid, solids, or gas, or just utilizing the properties that an element has. For example, we use gold. We might not use gold to do a chemical process, but you still might use gold to collect it, to make a coin, or just to use the properties to conduct electricity. That is physical chemistry. Analytical chemistry is what you see on TV. It's like your CIS shows, where you will have people in a laboratory looking at chemicals to try to identify what these materials are or what they're made of, so that you can understand more about them. Sometimes in the commercial setting, if a competitor came up with a great product and you want to be able to compete with that product, you will want to find out what chemicals they placed inside that product so that you can begin to use some of those chemicals in your own product and to hopefully compete with them on the open market. Biochemistry is a lot of your medical fields. Biochemistry is a lot like organic chemistry, but it has to do more with things that are still living. How does DNA reproduce? How do we understand the different processes in our body, and any other chemistry that deals with things that are still alive? And theoretical is more about things done with computers, or more about things done at the university when we're trying to do research and do predicting. Sometimes theoretical chemistry might be used in astronomy or even meteorology, with the idea that they are going just to predict what's going to happen. So as we go and we talk about the different branches of chemistry, one key term that you keep hearing us say is the term chemical. A chemical is any substance that has a definite composition. Definite composition means it's fixed. It means something makes up. Composition means something is made up of something. And when we say definite, it is fixed. Here I have water. Water is a chemical. Yes, I know when I say chemical, you think of things like harsh chemicals or something that will melt your face off. But water is an example of a chemical. Why is it a chemical? Because it has a fixed composition. The water molecule is absolutely made up of 2 hydrogen atoms, or the element hydrogen, and 1 atom of oxygen. CH4 is another chemical. It is a chemical because it has a definite composition of 1 carbon atom for every 4 hydrogen atoms. These are models that we will learn more about. And it's trying to show you that the oxygen is in red and the hydrogens are in white. Here, this model is trying to show you the carbon is in black, and the 4 circles on it are the 4 hydrogens. So a chemical is anything that has a definite composition. It can be something that's harmless as water, or it can be something like methane. Methane per se isn't dangerous, but you will know you have methane around you because of the smell. This is the bad odor you smell sometimes when your dad walks by and passes gas, or when you're working on the farm and you get a whiff of the pigs. Chemistry deals with these elements, how these elements come together to make the composition of a chemical, but then in this class we will also deal with how these guys react with each other. Flow is a chemical reaction of methane in the presence of oxygen. When oxygen exists in real life, it exists as O2. And so when methane gets lit on fire in the presence of oxygen, it transforms into carbon dioxide and water molecule. So this chemical reaction is just simply seeing the carbon now bond with oxygen to create a new chemical, and then the hydrogens bond with the water to make another new chemical. So this whole class is just learning about how matter is made, how methane and water are made, and then now how these different made molecules or these made elements will react with each other to make new products, and that's where we get our chemical reactions from. And what does this mean in your life? How does the chemistry apply to you? Well, it shows up everywhere, from your food to your sports to how we keep people safe, to technology like your cell phone, and to medicine. Gatorade is a use of electrolytes in solution. It was chemistry-based. The University of Florida wanted to help make their athletes better and stay hydrated longer. And so they came up with something some would consider superior water by adding sugar and adding electrolytes to help athletes stay in the game and keep their focus longer. We also use chemistry in our cell phones. Battery technology, the way LCD screens work, is all how chemistry, all about how the different elements or the different molecules will react when their electrical charge is being put through them. And we've just manipulated those characteristics of these chemicals and these processes to utilize real life. Just like our medicine is being made because we find out that these certain chemicals that we can make are medicines and they have a good effect on our body. One of the things I was reading over the summer was a really neat piece of technology, and is another good example. There's this orange squishy website or article I was reading where now there's this new material that these scientists developed, and it's a soft and squishy material, but yet it is able to be placed in strategic parts of your body and shaped very easily to stop bullets or to help police officers. And it's a really fascinating gel they made that, even though it's soft and flexible and can move, it has the strength to stop and to disperse any energy that would attack that substance. And so if you get a chance and you want to do some more reading, I would suggest that you check Fox News, and you can find this article and check it out. But this is an example of technology in our lives due to chemistry. So as we just recap, as we look at what we just went over, we talked about chemistry is just simply studying what matter is. How is matter made? What composes matter? How does matter change? How does matter take structure? And what are the different properties of that matter? Can it conduct electricity? Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it able to take the form of different shapes? We also looked at there are different disciplines in chemistry. As you get older and as you go to college, you will begin to see these different areas. And when you go to pick an area to study in university, then you might focus more on organic chemistry or inorganic chemistry. And also we looked at how chemistry helps improve our society. We see that it affects the way we make our drinks, the way we make our medicine, and the way we even make helmets for football or for body armor for police. So I hope in this lesson you can now explain to me the concept of chemistry, and you can have an idea about what we will be studying in this class. And I also hope you'll be able to look at the purpose of chemistry and understand that it makes and improves the world around us. Right now, as we finish this video, go to your Google Classroom and take the survey quiz labeled Video 1-1. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.